Hi everyone, welcome back to Studioloo. It's Cindy. So I'm here with a journal for you for Flip Through Friday. This is Owl Folk, and I had a lot of fun making this journal. If you're seeing this video, that means that this journal is now up in my shop. So I started with this book because it was just really beautiful. It's Discovering Music, a course in music appreciation, and I just loved the whole book. The cover was really neat, and I really liked the spine, so I just left the spine alone, except that I did add an eyelet to add a spine dangle. So we'll start with the cover. So this kind of just, I don't know, do you ever have something just visualize in your brain? That's what happened with this book. So I saw the cover. For some reason, I was like, I want to put like an antique cabinet card on it, and this one is an old one. It is from 1901, so it is antique, and it was from August the 23rd when the photographer took it, and that date was on the back, but you can no longer see it. So then I had placed it on there and thought, oh, that's kind of boring. And then I just wanted to like add an owl for some reason. These people, the book, all of it just spoke to me like there needed to be an owl there. So this is an owl from an Audubon book. I then embossed it with some clear embossing glaze, you know, so it'll be a nice hard sort of plasticized addition to the book. And then I put the cabinet card down, and it still just didn't feel like it had enough dimension. So I had these fun little frames, and I thought, how fun would it be to just take these three and pop them out in this frame? Still keep him there, but you know, just maybe there was a rift, maybe there was a love interest, who knows, right? Let's add a little bit of mystique in the Owl Folk family here. So this is an actual antique book label, and it's really grungy and wonderful. I got this from an antique store that I've talked about before. It's this very magical little antique store that's owned by a centenarian who lives in the middle of nowhere. And so he has this magical downstairs room where he has all this hardware, and he pulled all these out for me when I was trying to fit my library cabinet. The spine dangle has all sorts of magical little things. So we have a woodcut owl that was made by Scotty from Pork Chop Show on Etsy. He no longer, I think, produces on Etsy though. He's an amazing woodcut creator, but I think he actually has a brick and mortar shop now somewhere in the United States where he lives. And this is some vintage jewelry. This is one of my handmade ceramic buttons, which if you know, have ever bought a book from me or yarn, you know that you always receive a packet of my handmade buttons because I like to give those out as a little thank you. This is a vintage button that was really neat. This is a little necklace charm, a little silver necklace charm. It's a little heart. We got some buttons and beads and pearls. And this is a fun little bird, and I just thought it would be very sweet on here. We have a Yale Lockwood cut also from Scotty, and this is one of my felt beads made from wool. This is a little ceramic blue owl, and this is from one of those Monopoly games. It's the little iron, the little metal iron, and we have a vintage button, a little wood butterfly. This is a little like religious kind of like bracelet piece, I think, but it just had a really cool patina to it. I thought it was neat. So yeah, there's all sorts of fun bits and bobs on here. Okay, so then I've done the closure with yellow eyelets, and it ties closed with this chestnut brown seam binding. And then we open on up into the journal. So I use this really beautiful alcohol ink and gold paper for the end papers and added a pocket. And then I added, this is an authentic old cabinet card, and it's very mysterious. I love the hats that these women are wearing, and it's just a tiny little cabinet card. It has like a little bit of like spotting on it. I didn't try to remove it. I just left it alone. You probably could remove it, but I just thought it added some mystique to their faces. It's just like more mystery about this book. This is a tag that I just made for 100 Days of Collage, but I felt like it really fit in here. I've again been using the Miles Beyond the Moon paper dolls because I really love them. I think that they're going along with the kind of journals that I'm making right now. So there's lots of fun paint and all sorts of different collage going on here. And this says, "Have grown very wild, a quiet talk. Take out your work or your drawing. Choose books, read aloud, more quiet." So that is also backed with some nice cabbage dyed paper and just tucks in there. And then we step into the first page of the book. So it is from an entomology text, an old 70s entomology text. And I've used one of the kits, I believe Clockwork Fables from Miles Beyond the Moon. And I have added some glossy accents to this medallion. So this is like plasticized and fun. And then this is a little tag here that's double-sided. So it's double for writing space. And it has this little fun cabinet card type, or not cabinet card, but invitation card image on the front. And that's the back of the page. And this entomology text was used and studied very much by someone who was studying to be an entomologist in the 70s. It has all of these, many of the pages have this old tape on it from where they were bookmarking and noting things. So this is a pocket here, and this beautiful paper is from Miles Beyond the Moon, as is the label, these two pieces. And this is a tag that I made during Junk Journal January for the texture prompt, and I just really love it. It was actually hard to kind of give it up. I was going to put it in my own journal, but it also, I feel like it just goes nicely here. It has my word snippet of Uncommon Traveler from my Patreon Journal Together kit. This is also from that kit, and I've added some fun book spine, and it's just altogether a really nice feeling tag. I've done some fun stenciling on the white pages in this journal rather than the typical spraying or, different kinds of inking. I decided to go with stenciling this time. It just felt right. And this is a yellow paper. It has this little label. This is an old property insurance policy envelope I got at an auction. And then I made kind of like a double tuck pocket out of it. So it was really long. So I folded up the bottom and added this pocket here. And then it has this pocket here as well. So this works wonders now and then, this journal card that just pops in here. And it can go down into the whole pocket. And then a few fun bits. This I actually made with Defemember of last year. This is a little tea card. It says, "Beneath the tall grasses and green nettles." And it has an invitation card, a Victorian salutations type card. And some other lovely little bits in there. And then this paper doll here is a tuck spot for this fun cabinet card. You get it? It's a cabinet and it's a journal card. So I made this some time ago, and it's got journaling space on the back and on the sides here. And it's just a fun little antique-like cabinet filled with glasses. More stenciling. This is some vintage ledger paper. This is a sliding belly band that has multiple purposes, so it actually can slide on the page. And there's one of my fabric collage tabs here, and I've clipped one of my hand-spun yarn wire beads on the side on a little bulb pin. And then the belly band itself has two little pockets made from vintage ledger. And it has a little British butterflies card in here and a little rose card. Both of those are from my Journal Together kit. And then this is a collage tag that I made. "There's not an hour of day or dreaming nights, but I am with thee. There's not a wind but whispers of thy name, and not a flower that sleeps beneath the moon, but in its hues or fragrance tells a tale of thee." And that is a journal card. And then over here, the other side of that belly band, we have a little tip out for writing space. And inside, this is a vintage postcard from Peru from 1956. I covered the back though. You can still see all the writing. You can see the postage stamp. The reason I covered it is because it was typewritten on, and it was like a letter from a man to his doctor while he was traveling. And I just felt like it would be more better used as writing space, but you have the history there, and you can certainly remove the backing. I didn't stitch it on in case you would want to. It's very easy if you want to separate it. Then this is some ledger paper from like the 70s. It's not as old as a lot of the ledger paper I use, but I love these red lines. These are bits from the Miles Beyond the Moon kit, the Clockwork Fables collection, and then this envelope is just so pretty. She makes really beautiful envelopes. I stenciled inside, and inside this one I just added a vintage photograph of this little girl. I just thought it was really cute, and it's old and wonderful. It could be written on. Just another little special thing, and I'm just tipping it over as so and clipping it on with a rusty paper clip. This is some beautiful paper from Inked Paper Arts. This is an over-the-top journal card from Miles Beyond the Moon, and it's on top of her paper as well. This is a sweet little book page about birds and plants, and it's this is about the Blackburnian warbler. Spring would not be spring without bird songs, from Francis M. Chapman. One would most likely find a Blackburnian warbler perched on the highest branch of the tallest spruce or hemlock tree. The northern mockingbird. What is joy? It is a bird that we all want to catch. It is the same bird that we all love to see flying. Sri Chinmoy. Mockingbirds are known for mimicking any sounds they hear, and they have a fondness for repetition. Over here, this little clock was from a vintage children's book, and I used it as a tuck spot for this tag that I made as part of Febrilage, and it says, "Impartial observer I am, unduly optimistic," and it has the use of some paper dolls here. I have a video on how I made this tag. I've got this fishing line here, holding on to this big collaged fish, and a leather topper, and the back has some fun paper as well. More of the Inked Paper Art paper. And then over here, this is another lovely page from the kit, and this is a journal card that I made a bit ago for one color. So I did like a color wash and added a Tim Holtz paper doll here. The background, you can see there's like a gravestone, and it's in a field, and I've done some collaging up here with old paper. This is from an Edgar Allan Poe book, and I felt like it just kind of told a story. We had now reached the summit of the loftiest crag. For some minutes the old man seemed too much exhausted to speak. "Not long ago," said he at length, "and I could have guided you on this route as well as the youngest of my sons, but about 3 years past there happened to me an event such as never happened before to mortal man, or at least as no man ever survived to tell." And then it cuts off. And then on the back, I got this fun imprint when I was pressing this paper down to blot the ink. So you've got the reverse image on the back. And that just tucks there. And then more of the ledger paper. I've stitched some really beautiful blue lace to the side of this stenciled page. This is from Miles Beyond the Moon. This is some original old ledger paper. It's got the months of the year across the top. And it was actually a children's attendance book, like a teacher's attendance. This is some stenciling on the back of this paper with, this is some old book. I believe it's a Dutch book that I cabbage dyed and stitched around the edge, added this fun paper doll and this little journal card inside. It's a little pocket. This is the other half of that insurance envelope, which I attached this fun paper bag and a label to. And inside we have this lace fern, Asparagus setaceus, the vigorous vines. I just love how it says the vigorous vines. And so I covered the back of it so that you could have it as a journaling card. And this kind of sticks a little out the top. You just see the vigorous vines, which I like. This is a medallion from the kit, the Clockwork Fables kit, and I added some, like, I left it specifically a little blotchy, kind of, some glossy accents. It gives such a fun, kind of like, where has this been? What has it been through kind of look, and I really appreciate that about this, and I think it's cool. I like how she did, like, the blue steampunky kind of glasses. Yellow paper, some stenciled paper. This is another over-the-top journal card on the entomology paper. So we have more of the little bug illustrations in there. And this beautiful journal card. This is from a vintage bird book. beautiful bird. One of my favorite, this is one of my favorite bird books. Some information on the lesser whitethroat. This is cabbage dyed paper with some of that lovely lace on the side. I left the threads long because I just really love the aesthetic of that. This is paper from Miles Beyond the Moon, and I collaged a pocket, used one of her paper dolls and one of her labels here. And then this is a tag that I made some time ago for Junk Journal January. It was about maps, and so I did like paper piecing of these hexagons. Just a fun little tag. And then a little French label down here, some vintage paper. This is a gravestone rubbing done in crayon. This is a little piece of paper from an old ledger book. Also, it's that attendance book. You can see your number present, temperature of classroom, 15 minutes after opening of the school. A little pocket here with this little Tim Holtz person, and this is paper from Miles Beyond the Moon, and I added one of my collage fabric tags. Then this is from another vintage bird book of the Sparrowhawk. I just love the colors, and I added this paper ruffle and a bit of fabric, and it's like the colors are just really perfectly matched. Some fun spraying and a tea-dyed page. This is from a coloring book on like essentially mid-century modern. And this is another of those 70s ledger pages. This is a pocket with all these shells that I made here. And then this is the tag that goes with it. I did this in a Tuesday 10, I think. And I just really love how it came out. It's very fun. It has a lot, there was a lot of process involved in making it. And then there's this little envelope here that's collaged, and it's like a matchbook, and you open it up and there is a journal card in there, and that just tucks down inside, and then we tuck the matchbook top in. That's a collage napkin. And then this is a tag that I made. I started a collage from a very old 1920s ledger, or sorry, 1850s ledger book that in the 1920s was turned into a scrapbook, and then this pink paper is the original paper, and this cutout doll was from the scrapbook. So I did some threads and some of my eco-printed fabric and other bits and bobs, and added a poem. I dreamed in a dream. I saw a city invincible to the attacks of the whole of the rest of the earth. I dreamed that was the new city of friends. Nothing was greater there than the quality of robust love inled the rest. It was seen every hour in the actions of the men of that city and in all of their looks and words. Then some hand-dyed yellow paper with some crochet, vintage crochet lace on the side. This little pocket here is from Miles Beyond the Moon's kit. I added a bird because she was holding like this little theater, so I added a little bird there. And this is another tag made from that scrapbook I was just talking about, and I just collaged that as well. And the paper this is on is from a book called Past Objects, and it was about someone who collected kind of a lot of old found objects, somebody I relate to very much because I do the same thing, old tools and such. And this is another of my yellow dyed papers. This is a belly band that I collaged on some napkin. And then this is from an old accounting book, and it has like a payable bill, and then on the back it has more of that, so you can use it as, you know, writing space if you want. You could write on these. It's like a little double folding kind of journal card. There we go. And then here we have sort of a mixed up little bit of a pocket. So it's collaged. The top is a pocket here, and this is youth is happy because it has the ability to see beauty. Anyone who keeps the ability to see beauty never grows old. And that tucks down here. And then in this little slot, there's like different papers I used. It's like a 3-part collaged pocket. So this little journal card here tucks in here, and then this little tag with this bookbinder label, it tucks in here. So it's just a fun little busy page. More of the ledger and that MCM coloring book. This is more tea-dyed paper, more sprayed paper. We have this little blue clip here holding onto this large journal card that I made. Has a fun backing with some French writing and lots of inking from the paper that I keep in my spray box. More of the attendance ledger and the graveyard rubbing, or gravestone rubbing rather. Some fabric on a tab here on this old paper. This paper is a little pocket. We have "Oh, couldst thou but know, with what a deep devotedness of woe, I wept thy absence o'er and o'er again, thinking of thee, still thee, till thought grew pain, and memory like a drop that night and day falls cold and ceaseless, wore my heart away." Whoops. That would be my alarm. Hold on. Okay. Little musical interlude, my apologies. Where were we? It's an important alarm. I have to know that it's happening every day at 9 o'clock. I need an alarm. This is a little fun card that says "Have fun." It's a little invitation card. I have no idea where it came from, but it was in my stash and I thought it was pretty fun for this journal. And this little label on cabbage dyed paper. This is from my favorite bird book. This little label on this beautiful fish illustration. Some flying fish here, and another of those fabric collage tabs on the yellow dyed paper. This is another envelope from the Miles Beyond the Moon kit on her paper as well, and it has this beautiful owl. And inside, this has a vintage document actually from Miss Myrtle G. Green of Ridgeway, Ontario, and it was, I think, it was like a mailing slip for a book that was being shipped. And so that just tucks in there, and again we wrap it over the page and pop a little paper clip on there. And then another of those glossy medallions. This is a little bit of writing space and a tuck spot for this journal card that I collaged. Some of my stained paper. This was a fun book page, just beautiful art, and I added some lace, and then I did some fun spraying on this side. This is an acetate pocket. This is the paper from the kit, and then this is one of my audience cards, and I've just collaged it a little bit, and it goes right on into this little pocket here because it's clear. Stenciling and vintage paper. This is from the kit, some more stenciling, coffee dyed paper, more stenciling. This is more of the vintage ledger. This was from a post office. This is more stenciling and a little belly band over here with this little journal card. And then a sprayed page with a paper doll holding an owl. More of that beautiful book art and vintage paper. More of my staining. And a little tuck spot here that's made from a cabinet card that holds onto this fun collage tag. Some fun lace on the side here, and we have this little mosaic kind of sticker. And then this is more stenciling. This belly band with the owl. And then this is a journal card that's made from like old things, essentially very old advertising from a magazine, and that tarnished label is from one of my journal kits. This is a little label here for Beft black lead pencils. This is an over-the-top journal card from the kit on this beautiful flying fish paper that's from a book called Fishes, a children's book, and I just love the colors and the paint. And then back here we have that same paper with a pocket, and I added a moth there. And this is a journal card from sort of a concept art that I was working on for a while, using peacocks and mushrooms and kind of surreal mushrooms for a project that I was doing for work, and I put that in there too. So that is the end of this journal. I hope you enjoyed the the owl family here. And if you're seeing the video, this journal is headed on up to my Etsy shop. It's probably already there. So thank you so much for tuning in, and I will talk to you again very soon. Bye for now.